Hello everyone and welcome to Victoria's Cantina. Today we're having a look at the Hasbro Star Wars, the Black Series number 15 IG-88 6-inch scale figure. IG-88 makes up part of the latest wave of 6-inch Black Series figures, and as you can see here from the packaging, follows the same formula that has been in play since last fall. Back of the packaging gives us a look at IG-88, and it simply says IG-88. It doesn't have any of the other translations that we saw with the Clone Commander Cody figure, which is very, very interesting since these are both from the same wave. Alright you guys, so I'm going to go ahead and get our little Tin Man buddy here out of the packaging, and we will take a closer look at IG-88. Alright you guys, so here is IG-88 out of the packaging, and as you can see, this looks quite stunning. What really draws me to it is the fact that it has a very metallic look to it. It looks like real metal, it really does, and it has a very nice sheen to it to give it that nice luster. Very nice looking. The sculpt looks to be very, very good. It's a very narrow and skinny figure, as you might imagine, but it is quite tall. The proportions of the figure seem to look correct. The silhouette looks more or less like any other IG-88 figure you've ever seen. You can see he has a nice looking and very functional strap that has a little pouch type thing on his back. And it also comes with 3 different accessories, which is way, way cool. Alright you guys, so here is a close-up of the head. As you can see, Hasbro did a really nice job sculpting this one. It looks very, very much like the IG-88 character that we've all known to come and love. Of course, he's a bounty hunter droid. Very nicely done. Sculpting looks very good. He's got like a hole going all the way through his head. In fact, he's got 4 holes. Very cool. And if you know a little bit of Star Wars trivia, the head actually came from the Mos Eisley Cantina beverage canisters that were at the center of the bar. All the detail in here looks to be very, very good. Looks like Hasbro really nailed it in terms of detail and sculpting and, making sure they got all the little nooks and crannies accounted for. Looks very, very good. You'll also notice that these little rubber pieces, and they do really feel like rubber, are kind of function as a rubber boot kind of things for the movement, and I will demonstrate that to you in just a moment. Legs look very nice. He's got some little wires on both of the legs. The coloring itself, is like a very deep gunmetal gray, but it also has a hint of a bronze kind of a coloring to it. Now, the bandolier is a sculpted separate piece, and it's actually held in place at the shoulder with a little peg. As you can see, there's a little peg there, and then there's a hole right there in the shoulder where you put it in place. Now, one thing that does concern me a little bit about the figure is that it is very rubbery. Even though it's very skinny of a figure, it does come across as being quite flimsy, and that does concern me over the long run because I don't know how it's going to hold up over the long term. I think if you display it on a shelf, I'm kind of worried that it's going to start to warp over time. It's just very, very flimsy, and I do wish Hasbro would have made this a little bit more rigid. In the way of articulation, IG-88 has it in places you wouldn't even expect. It's very, very cool. He does have a swivel here at the head. He also has like an upper ab crunch right there. You can see the joint right there that it rotates on. And he can look all the way down or all the way back, however you want. IG-88 also has these little shoulder pads, and you can rotate the arms up and down, but the way that they're engineered also enables you to move them sideways. So he does have actual ball hinging here at his shoulders, which is very, very nice. I mentioned the rubber boot earlier that he has right there, a very soft rubber, and it actually does enable you to move his arms. He does have hinging at the arms, so you can move it, however which way you want. IG-88 can also swivel where that upper ab crunch is located. He has swivels at both of the hips. He has swivels at his upper thighs. He has double bends at the knees, which are a little bit hard to bend. I mean, you can bend them, just like that very easily, but if you want to do the double bend, I'm a little bit scared that that's going to be a little bit fragile, but, just to demonstrate it for you. You can bend his knees quite a bit with that double bend. He also has swivels at both of his feet. You can also rotate the ankles back and forth. You know, it works quite well. All the articulation is pretty fluid, you know, other than the double knee being a little bit difficult to work. But again, I do kind of have a little bit of fear that, you know, because of how rubbery it is, that it is going to not hold up very well over the long term, at least, you know, standing it on a shelf or something. I mean, even out of the box, as you can see, it is a little bit hard to work with. You kind of got to play with it a little bit to get it to stand properly. And the way of accessories, IG-88 comes with 3 of them. The first being this Stormtrooper style blaster. Now, it is not the same one that comes with the 6-inch Stormtrooper figure. It's actually smaller. And it does have a hole right there so that you can attach it to his arm. To demonstrate that for you, you will see that the figure has a peg right there at the wrist. So it's actually got 2 of them. If you want to put the shorter blaster in there, you put it into his hand, and you plug it into the peg, which, you know, if it didn't have the peg, there's no way he would be able to hold on to the blaster. So that's very cool. Second accessory is this more rifle-looking blaster, and it's sculpted quite nicely. And the same thing applies here. You know, you can put it in either hand. You can put it, it's a peg right there in his right hand. And this one actually also works quite well in the left hand. The other blaster doesn't work in the left hand very well at all, because the peg's too far back. And the final accessory is an axe, and it looks pretty good. Now, unfortunately, there is no way for him to hold the axe very well. You can kind of do that, but that's about it. Now, the back of the figure does have its bandolier, and you can see right there that you can slot the axe into those holes right there, like so. And he can carry the blade on his back. You also have a secondary pouch right here, and that enables you to plug in the rifle just like that. That way he can have both those weapons stowed, or if you want, you can also put in the smaller blaster in there, just like that. So very cool. I really like the way that they gave him the ability to hold and stow his weapons. That's very, very nice. IG-88 measures just shy of 7 inches tall, and to give you a comparison, here he is next to Boba Fett. I kind of feel that IG-88 should be a little bit bigger, but I could be wrong. Perhaps this is accurate to the actual scale of the character from the film. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the Hasbro Star Wars, the Black Series, number 15, IG-88 6-inch scale figure. Overall, I think this is a very nicely done figure. It's a very nice entry into the 6-inch scale, and I think Hasbro did a remarkable job with the sculpt work on it. It is loaded with detail, and the paintwork on it is very nice, giving it a very metallic type look with a very lovely sheen to it. The figure is loaded with all kinds of articulation, and it's very well integrated into the sculpt. You can't even see any of the joints, which is very, very cool. The accessories are very nice. The way that you can plug the guns into the figure's arms is very cool. The fact that you can stow the axe as well as the blasters into the back of his bandolier is also very, very nice. The biggest problem I have with this figure is the fact that the plastic is actually pretty rubbery, and it is quite hard to stand him up. I would have liked for Hasbro to have used a more rigid plastic, especially in the leg area. I am a bit concerned about the figure's ability to stand on a shelf. I kind of feel like over time it might warp. And that is my biggest gripe with the figure, is that, you know, it could have been a little more sturdy. But overall, it's a very nicely done figure. I think Hasbro did some really nice things with the engineering. So overall, I do recommend the figure. It's very unique. And if it were only a little bit more rigid, I would tell you that it's one of the best figures in the Black Series lineup. I really want to say that it is, but the fact that it is a little bit flimsy kind of prevents me from doing so. It's still a good figure. I do recommend it to you, especially if you're a fan of bounty hunters. This is one that you're probably going to like. Alright, my friends, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. As always, I want to thank you for watching Victoria's Cantina. Until next time, bye-bye.